Greetings all, welcome to my video. The physics of UFOs, if this was a court of law, we are beyond reasonable doubt. By Arjun Walia. If this was a court of law, we are beyond reasonable doubt. Those were the words of Luis Elizondo in a recent interview by I-Team Las Vegas and George Knapp, as seen in the picture. Last October, Elizondo ended his long career with the US government, and with one of his most recent positions being the director of the Pentagon's Study of Unknown Aerial Objects, ATTIP, he definitely knows a thing or two about the subject. The program was authorized by Harry Reid, a former US senator, in conjunction with Bigelow Aerospace. Not long ago, the founder of Bigelow Aerospace told the public, in a 60 Minutes interview, that we are not alone, and that Earth is currently being visited by extraterrestrials. Elizondo also shared his belief that there is a lot of evidence showing that we're probably not alone, whatever that means. Elizondo is part of the To the Stars Academy, headed up by Tom DeLonge, the company that the US government is working with to disclose the existence of UFOs to the American public, as well as the exotic technologies that go with them. They are the ones the Pentagon went through to spread the release of their UFO footage. The team also includes Jim Semivan, a former senior intelligence service member of the Central Intelligence Agency, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Christopher Mellon, and a recently retired Program Director for Advanced Systems at Lockheed Martin, Steve Justice. The company's team also has Hal Puthoff, a co-founder of the US government's Stargate project, a 25-year program that investigated parapsychological phenomena. When Elizondo made the court of law statement, he was referring to the scientific data, and more, we now have showing that something strange has been going on in our atmosphere for a very long time. He's also gone on the record stating that, for the first time, we have a compelling picture that what we are seeing is explained in our current understanding of physics, advanced physics, and quantum mechanics. Perhaps all these observables that we have been seeing, for example, sudden and extreme acceleration, hypersonic velocities, low observability, transmedium travel, and last but not least positive lift, or anti-gravity, is really a manifestation of a single technology. So it's not 5 exotic technologies we're trying to figure out how it works. It's one, and we think we know that one too. For more examples of what happens when a UFO is tracked on military radar. Space-time metric engineering. An article published on the To the Stars website states as follows. One of the scientists that helped figure it out is physicist Dr. Hal Puthoff. He wrote the proposal that helped Bigelow land the DoD contract to study UFOs, and in a recent radio interview, said he commissioned 38 scientific papers during the study to explore exotic propulsion ideas, including what he called space-time metric engineering. In essence, the gimbal and tic-tac craft were able to create their own space-time bubbles. One of the first statements Steve Justice, mentioned above, made using the To the Stars platform is that, when it comes to the technologies he's been around, worked with, and seen, it would be an understatement to call them revolutionary. He also stated, while discussing the concept for the craft that To the Stars plans to build, the following. This is a concept for an international point-to-point transportation craft that will erase the current travel limits of distance and time. It mimics the capabilities observed in unidentified aerial phenomenon by employing a driver system that alters space-time metric. We have glimpses of how the physics of this works, but we need to harvest technologies from the science division to realize the capability. By making this statement, he is telling the world that unidentified flying objects, which are commonly tracked on military radar, utilize a device that somehow combats the problem of distance and time, making it easy for them to travel what we humans perceive as great and impossible distances in a short period of time. There is another way, whether it's wormholes, or warping space, there's got to be a way to generate energy so that you can pull it out of the vacuum, and the fact that they're extraterrestrials here shows us that they found a way. Source: Jack Kosher, Ph.D., Professor Emeritus of Physics, University of Nebraska. When Elizondo went on CNN explaining that the Pentagon's recent video release isn't much compared to what they've already seen, you can imagine they must have some very interesting footage. There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet. Dr. Stephen Greer, founder of the Disclosure Project. Dr. Theodore C. Loader, professor of earth sciences at the University of New Hampshire, wrote a paper reviewing the development of anti-gravity research in the US and notes how research activities seemed to disappear by the mid-1950s. It then addresses recently reported scientific findings and witness testimonies that show us that this research and technology is alive and well and very advanced. The revelations of findings in this area will alter dramatically our 20th century view of physics and technology and must be considered in planning for both energy and transportation needs in the 21st century. Loader and Dr. Greer, who has also worked with Dr. Puthoff, mentioned above, were also requested by Senator Smith, RNH and chair of the EPW, and Mr. David Conover, chief of staff EPW, to put together a paper regarding the technology and the technological implications of UFOs. It was titled Outside the Box Technologies, Their Critical Role Concerning Environmental Trends, and the Unnecessary Energy Crisis. In summary, the technologies fall into the following broad categories: quantum vacuum/zero-point field energy access systems and related advances in electromagnetic theory and applications, electrogravitic and magnetogravitic energy and propulsion, room temperature nuclear effects, electrochemical and related advances to internal combustion systems which achieve near zero emissions and very high efficiency. What's also interesting to note is that the second director of Lockheed Skunk Works was quoted as saying the following: "We now know how to travel to the stars. There is an error in the equations, and we have figured it out, and now know how to travel to the stars, and it won't take a lifetime to do it. It is time to end all the secrecy on this, as it no longer poses a national security threat, and make the technology available for use in the private sector. There are many in the intelligence community who would like to see this stay in the black and not see the light of day. We now have the technology to take ET home. We are talking about Special Access Programs, SAP. From these we have unacknowledged and waived SAPs. These programs do not exist publicly, but they do indeed exist. They are better known as deep black programs. A 1997 U.S. Senate report described them as so sensitive that they are exempt from standard reporting requirements to the Congress. The Washington Post revealed that the black budget documents report a staggering $52.6 billion that was set aside for operations in the fiscal year 2013. Although it's great to have this type of documentation in the public domain proving the existence of these black budget programs, the numbers seem to be off according to some statements made by some very prominent people who have been involved in the defense sector for years. There is a lot of evidence to suggest that these programs are not using billions of dollars, but trillions of dollars that are unaccounted for. Here is a statement given by Canada's former Minister of National Defence, Paul Hellyer, in 2008. It is ironic that the US would begin a devastating war, allegedly in search of weapons of mass destruction, when the most worrisome developments in this field are occurring in your own backyard. It is ironic that the US should be fighting monstrously expensive wars allegedly to bring democracy to those countries, when it itself can no longer claim to be called a democracy when trillions, and I mean thousands of billions of dollars have been spent on projects which both Congress and the Commander-in-Chief know nothing about. We are talking about large amounts of unaccounted for money going into programs we know nothing about. There have been several congressional inquiries that have noted billions, and even trillions of dollars that have gone missing from the Federal Reserve System. On July 16, 2001, in front of the House Appropriations Committee, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld stated, "The financial systems of the Department of Defense are so snarled up that we can't account for some $2.6 trillion in transactions that exist, if that's believable. We don't really hear about black budget programs, or about people who have actually looked into them." However, the topic was discussed in 2010 by Washington Post journalists Dana Priest and William Arkin. Their investigation lasted approximately 2 years and concluded that America's classified world has become so large, so unwieldy, and so secretive that no one knows how much money it costs, how many people it employs, how many programs exist within it, or exactly how many agencies do the same work. According to some interesting sources, he let the cat out of the bag, stating that quantum entanglement was the missing part in the equations, and that entanglement is key to long-distance space travel. Remember, this has been the subject of contemplation at the highest realms of science for decades. Peter Andrew Sturrock, a British scientist, and an emeritus professor of applied physics at Stanford University, and a number of other notable scientists around the world came together during the 1990s in order to examine the physical evidence that is commonly associated with the UFO phenomenon. Intelligence agencies and some powerful people have been all over this topic for decades. Who knows just how far we've come, or they, and what they intend to do with that information. Can we really trust government disclosure? The government, for good reason, definitely has a bad reputation among independent thinkers. We've seen the infiltration of other countries based on false premises, like the war on terror. Our governments are going after so-called terrorists in which they themselves have strong connections to. Evidence has been mounting showing how the Western military alliance has infiltrated and invaded multiple countries for their own selfish purposes, as well as install their own versions of government, in secrecy. We saw this with Iraq and 9/11s, as well as several other countries in the overseas. It's usually referred to these days as false flag terrorism. Below is a great quote from Mark Twain. I've used it multiple times, but it really gets the point across. The statesman will invent cheap lies, putting the blame upon the nation that is attacked, and every man will be glad of those conscience-soothing falsities, and will diligently study them, and refuse to examine any refutations of them, and thus he will by and by convince himself the war is just, and will thank God for the better sleep he enjoys after this process of grotesque self-deception. Source. The point is, if we've been deceived for so long on so many topics, why should we not assume the same for UFOs? Perhaps Tom and his team, although well-intentioned, are being used by those higher up in the pyramid to bring forth disclosure, only to be twisted and used by the deep state, which controls the US government, for their own selfish purposes and to impose more laws that take away our human rights? To weaponize space? If we want to know who has access to the most information, we have to follow the money. This is a deep topic that touches all aspects of human life. It's important to exercise caution, especially when, for so long, we've had a small group of powerful people control all media. With recent Facebook algorithm changes, alternative media, which was gaining more popularity and viewership than CNN and other popular mainstream media networks, have been subjected to fake news accusations and algorithm changes. Perhaps this is why the intelligence community, or whoever is in charge, probably picked Tom DeLonge to team up with rather than Dr. Stephen Greer. We don't hear any talk of the possibility of any sort of deception from Tom. All we hear are legitimate justification for why there has been a cover-up, which is why they probably prefer him. It seems the government does not want to be made out to be the bad guy, and want people to know that they were justified in concealing information. Perhaps that is true in some cases, but it can't be true for most of them. There is no doubt in my mind that the topic of UFOs is being used here. Perhaps I'm wrong, who knows where this is going to go, but we're definitely living in exciting times. One thing is for certain, whoever has been holding the secrecy on this subject, is and has been just as curious as the human populace is now beginning to be. The only real way the human experience can evolve and move forward is with total transparency. We are more than what we've been made to believe, and our capability and potential for good, as one human race, is far beyond anything we can imagine. War in space. Satellite missiles and international tensions. See US, China and Russia preparing for war in space. China, Russia, and the US are developing and testing controversial new capabilities to wage war in space despite their denial of such work. By Lee Billings, August 10, 2015. A huge rise in anti-satellite weapons being developed by world powers has sparked fears the West could soon be embroiled in a fully fledged war with Russia and China in outer space. We're arguably closer than ever to war in space. Most satellites orbiting Earth belong to the US, China, and Russia. And recent tests of anti-satellite weapons don't exactly ease the scare factor. It sounds like science fiction, but the potential for real-life Star Wars is real enough. It's just not new. Fears of battles in space go back to the Cold War and several initiatives, like President Reagan's Star Wars missile defense system. Deputy Defense Secretary Robert Work spoke to Congress in June about the threat. He said during a speech the technology the US developed during the Cold War allows it to project more power, more precisely, more swiftly, at less cost. Take a moment to think about everything satellites do. GPS, surveillance, and communications all depend on them. And the Scientific American notes you can disable satellites without missiles. Simply spray painting lenses or breaking antennas is enough. President Obama requested $5 billion for space defense in the 2016 fiscal budget. And a former Air Force officer told the Scientific American most of the United States' capabilities in space have been declassified to send a clear message: there are no rules for war in space. Best regards. Edgar D. Mitchell, SCD. Apollo 14 astronaut. Sixth man to walk on the moon. 0 Point Energy consultant. Thank you for watching. Please help spread the word by sharing and subscribing for more thought-provoking content, and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Your support is greatly appreciated. Be aware, and stay safe.